Hi everybody, this is Jo. What we're going to do today is a nice easy tutorial for something really nice and practical that you'll be able to use around your house or your office, and that's this nice little pen holder, desk tidy, whatever you want to use it for, makeup brushes, anything like that. I use it to keep my crochet hooks in. They're my favourite ones that I tend to use mostly. So this is what we're going to be making today. So all you're going to need is your wool. So today I'm going to be using a Stylecraft Special chunky wool, which is really nice. It's 100% acrylic, which means it's machine washable. But it's still got a nice feel to it. It still feels nice and soft. So that's the yarn we're going to be using, and the recommended hook size on this is a size 6. And because I want the stitches to remain quite tight like they are on this, I'm going to stick with a size 6. You could go a bit bigger and then the stitches would be looser, but because we want to keep it quite tight like that, we're sticking with a 6. And this colour is called Parchment. It's a lovely beigey, mushroomy colour. So that's the yarn there. So next you're going to need a double-sided sticky tape. As you can see there, is well used. So you can get this from all sorts of shops. I think I got this from the Range, but B&M sometimes sell it, Hobbycraft, as well as your nice small local crafting shops. So you'll need that. Some scissors. These are my big juicy scissors. Last tutorial I had my snazzy pants scissors. Today it's my juicy scissors. So I always have a piece of wool as a stitch marker when I'm working in this kind of pattern. You can use a stitch marker, little plastic one or a metal one if you prefer, but personally I prefer to work with a bit of wool. You'll need an old plastic bottle, and that's it, and your hook. Size 6 crochet hook I've got here, and that is literally all you need. So it's nice for using up odds and ends of yarn from your stash if you want to use lots of different colours, but we're just going to stick with the one colour today, and it's going to be this pot we're going to be making. Okay, so let's get cracking. So we've got our hook and our yarn. We're just going to start by doing a magic circle. So we take the tail end of the wool, we wrap it around our finger 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Don't pull too tight because you need to get your hook underneath it. And then we go under the first hoop, under the second, and then with the third we go under it, and then we pull it through the first 2. Okay, and then go into the working end of the yarn, not the tail end. You wrap it over and pull through the hoop on the hook, and then that gives you a circle. So that is a magic ring. There you go. So a simpler way to do that, if you wanted to, is to do 2 chains and then do the next part of the pattern into the second chain from the hook. But I prefer the magic circle because it gives a tighter finish to the bottom. So what we do now is we do simply 6 double crochets into the center of this circle. I work in UK stitches, so if you're in the US or you prefer to use the US stitches, that's single crochets. So we're doing 6 double crochets into the center of the circle. So in we go, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, 1. There's 1 stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now we need to pull the magic circle tighter. So as you look at it from there, we are going to look at this one at the bottom of the 2 strands, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull that tight, and that will pull the center of the circle tight as well. And then once you've done that, you should just pull on the tail end and it will pull that loop in. So now you've got a really nice tight centre there to the bottom of the pen tidy, desk tidy. And this is where I pop in a stitch marker, in my case a fancy bit of wool, and you just pop it there in front of where we are at the minute. See there? And then I prefer to use that than a stitch marker because it's easier to move it up as you work around the pattern. So on this first round we are going to increase into every stitch. We should have 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that one's just got pulled a little bit into the center there when I've tightened the magic circle. So we're going to increase into every one. So at the end of this round we'll have 12 double crochets. So into the first stitch, it's a little bit tight where I've pulled the circle too tight, but there we go. 1, 2, 3, oops, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then this is where the wool is easier than a stitch marker. You just pull it out and pop it straight back in there. So that was round 1. So round 2 we are going to do round 3 we are going to do an increase into the first stitch, and then a double crochet, increase, double crochet all the way around, and you should have 18 stitches at the end. So it's increasing into the first one, 1, 2, and then a single one into the next stitch. So it's 3. Then increase, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so that's our next round. So round 4 then is increase into the first one as usual, and then 2 double crochets. So 2 double crochets into that stitch, double crochet, 2 double crochets there, double crochet, all the way around, and you should have 24 stitches at the end. There we go. So pop out your marker and pop it back in. And the way this pattern goes now is you just increase 1 stitch between the increases. So on that previous round we had increase, 2 double crochets, increase, 2 double crochets. So on this round it's increase, 3 double crochets, increase, 3 double crochets. So, and that's the way it goes for the rest of the pattern. So the next round after that will be increase 4 double crochets all the way around, and then increase 5 double crochets all the way around, and the number of stitches just increases by 6 every time, so it's nice practice every 6 times table as well. But keep going on this bottom part until it's big enough for the bottom of your plastic bottle. So if you keep going, and I'll meet you back when they're big enough. So my circle now is big enough for the bottom of my bottle. As you can see there, I got some space all the way around, so I know that that's going to be plenty big enough. So you can see there all the way around, I've got lots of nice space. So I know my bottle is big enough, which I've now cut, so the top's gone, and I've took the label off. So you do it to whatever height you want it to. I mean, it could be small, you could just take the very top off, so you've got quite a tall bottle. It just depends what you want to use it for at the end. So I've now got my bottom ready, and that's got 48 stitches in the last round that I did. So in the last round I did an increase there, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6 increase, 1 2 3 4 5 6 all the way around to give me 48 stitches. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a little lip at the bottom of the bottle, at the bottom of the tidy, for you to help pull up the sides faster. So instead of going into the tops of the stitches as normal, what we're going to do is go around each stitch. So that's the first stitch of around there. And so what we are going to do is we are going to come up through the space there, and then we're going to go back out through that space there. So it's up through there, and then back out through there. So when you've done that, you should have on the top your original hoop, and then the tops of the 2 stitches that you've effectively gone round, and then on the back you can see that's the post of the double crochet that we're working around. So we just go yarn over, pull through. So you just got your 2 hoops back on the hook again, and then yarn over, pull through 2. So it's a bit tricky where you've done an increase, because the stitches are a bit more tightly packed together than those. You can see where there's an increase there, it's a bit tighter. So take your time, and don't worry if you don't get it. It's back to front on this side of the stitch, and then front to back, back out that side of the stitch, and then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So up through that gap there, and then back out there. So we've got the stitches on the top and the post of the double crochet there. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So it creates the tops of the stitches then go like that, which is what we want. So it's up through that gap, and then down through that gap. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So you can see the gaps clearly on the ones where you haven't increased. So up through there, and then down through there. One more. Up through that gap, and then back down through that gap. Yarn over, through, yarn over, through. So if you keep going, and I will see you back at the end of this row. So we're back to the beginning now, and I've just moved my stitch marker up, and all we're going to do now is we're going to bring up the sides of the pot. We've created this lip at the bottom which will help the sides come up faster, and also just looks nice as well, which is always nice. So all we do now is we just double crochet all the way around as many times as you need to get the height that you need for your bottle. So we're just going to straightforward crochet into each stitch, just double crochet all the way around. At the end of each row, move your stitch marker up and just keep going round until your desk tidy pot is big enough for the size of what you need it for. Okay, so just keep going. So here we are again, and my outer coating, if you like, is tall enough now for the bottle to just fit in nicely. And I did 20 rounds of double crochet, so give you an idea of how long that needs to be. So what we're going to do now is do the top. Now ideally you wouldn't need to do this, but because of the plastic bottle, it is quite sharp and maybe a little jagged, where like me you probably haven't cut it properly. And so what we're going to do is we're going to repeat what we did at the bottom at the top. So we just popped our stitch marker back in there, and we're going to do exactly the same in that space, back out through that space, so we get that V on the top and the post of the stitch at the back. Okay, so yarn over and through, yarn over and through. Same again in that space there, and then out through that space there, 2 stitches on the top, post at the back, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and we're going to do that all the way around. So I will see you back at the beginning when you've finished this round. Right, back to the beginning. So just moving the stitch marker. Now all I'm going to do is do 2 or 3 more rows, and that will fold over then, over the edge of the plastic, and that will be what you see. And then we'll be able to stick down with a sticky sided tape the fold. If you don't want to use sticky sided tape or you haven't got any, just do a few more rows, and then that will keep itself nice and tidy. You don't need to stick it down, and then that will mean that if you want to wash it, if it's being used for something that means it will need washing more regularly, then that will be nice and easy then, because you'll be able to take it off and on. With the double-sided sticky tape, obviously you wouldn't be able to get that off and on to wash it. So think about that when you're making it, if it's something that you're going to need to wash regularly or not. So what we're going to do is 2 or 3 rounds, or however many you want to do, of just ordinary crochet, and this bit will fold over into the bottle. So if you do as many rounds as you need to do, and then I will see you back here when you're ready. There we are, we've done 3 extra rows, so that will be folded down inside the bottle so you won't see it, but it'll give it a nice neat edge around the edge of the bottle, and you won't stab yourself on it, which is always nice. So all we need to do now is take our stitch marker, and just in the next stitch do a slip stitch. So in, yarn over, through this top of the stitch, and then through the hook on the loop on the hook, and then yarn over, pull through, cut your yarn, and then just pull it through. Pull it tight. The nice thing about this is you don't need to sew your ends in either, which is always lovely. So what we're going to do now is, if you don't want to use the double-sided sticky tape, you can just pop your bottle in and then fold that around the edge like that. I think mine's a bit too big. There we go. And obviously if this was longer it'd be a bit more secure, but essentially it would be nice and secure. Because I don't want to do that, I want to keep this permanent. So what I'm going to do is get some double-sided sticky tape. We don't get on, by the way, me and double-sided sticky tape. We have a long history of not getting on. Just simply because I can never ever ever find the top to get it off the thing. So I'm not going down the bottle very far, just maybe a centimetre. See, hates me it does. And it's wonky, never mind. So we're just going to stick that all the way round. And to make it easier on myself, I have only cut enough to go a little way. So I'm just going to cut off another bit. The scissors, by the way, are brilliant. They're from my local yarn shop. which is Neath Valley Wools in Gleneath, which is in South Wales, just near Swansea. So we've got a bit of overlap there, but never mind. This is how I know it hates me. See, I can never ever. I normally have to get my husband to get it for me because he's more patient. I'm more inclined to just go, well, sod it, and throw it down the stairs. I did it. Yes. Nobody's here to see it. Right. Which is quite typical. Let's see if we can get this side. Does anybody else have this trouble, or is it just me? I'd like to think other people struggle with it as well, but it might just be me. So there we go. We've took the paper bits off the sticky-sided, double-sided sticky tape. So I'm going to pop my bottle cover there. Ready? I'm going to pop my bottle in it like that. Push it down to the bottom. Make sure it's nice and safe. And then I am going to fold that over and stick it around the inside to the double-sided sticky tape. Like this. I think my circle is a bit too wide at the bottom, so I think that's why I'm getting a bit there. But never mind, still sticks nice. There we go. So you can see it's a bit higgledy-piggledy there, but never mind. So I'm just going to pop that in there, and there's my little pot. Okay. So I can put in there whatever I want to put in there. Pen, some scissors, whatever I want. This is quite a tall one actually, it's a bit taller than my other one, so I could use this for other things, makeup brushes maybe, something like that. So that's it. Really nice and straightforward. You've got your own little storage pot there. It's quite sturdy, sturdier than you would think, but with the plastic bottle in. Like I said, if you didn't want to use the double-sided sticky tape to stick it down in the middle here, then you could leave that, do some extra rows so it still folds down securely onto the inside, and then you've got a removable cover then that you can wash. There's no end really what you can do with this. I actually have this one as well, which is an oval shape, and I keep lots of bits in this, odds and ends that don't fit in the other one with my hooks. This was done in treble crochet rather than double crochet, so the stitches are bigger. And if I turn it upside down, you can see on the bottom, all I've done is a rectangle of treble crochet, and then gone around the edges with the just gone around the edges once with treble crochet, and then created the lip again there, and then just kept going around to create the sides, and then it comes in exactly the same there. So you can see that's where that pen went. So you can see it's about 5 rows down. But actually what I did on the top, as you can see there, is I did 2 lips, and so it folded and gave it a bit more thickness. And this was the bottom of a 6-pint milk bottle, I think. So that's really useful. And the nice thing is that the pot with my crochet hooks sits in it. So I have a pot with my crochet hooks in there, and then the bits and bobs that I like to use around the edges. But it's really nice, and you can just pop in it what you want then. There we go. So again, that's a really nice one, in a slightly different shape. And then if you wanted something a bit sturdier, you could use a glass jar, or even a tin, or you could use something like the good old coffee whitener jar. and that's enforced cardboard around the outside and metal-ish at the bottom, so that would be really sturdy. So if you wanted to keep something in there that's going to take a lot of use, then that would be good for that. But that's it. There you go. Your own little storage pot. I hope that helped and you enjoy making that. And if you do make anything with it that's different to the ones I've made, please share it with me. Or even if you make the ones that I've made, doesn't matter. I love seeing what you do with the things. So if you share anything with me on social media, then I can have a look and go and be all jealous and think, oh, I wish I'd made that. If you ever play with some colours or some different stitch patterns, then that would be really nice if you wouldn't mind sharing them with me. I'd love that. So don't hesitate. Don't forget, if you want to learn more to crochet, then come and join my Facebook group through the Woolly Wonders by Jo Facebook page, and also subscribe to this channel. It's very much appreciated. Thank you very much and see you next time.